All right, and we're back. We're coming at you live from the Garden of Eden, the site of the last time a woman made a decision of where to eat.
That'd be it, man.
Yeah, exactly. The last time, and I understand why they don't do it anymore, because that would it didn't work out well for literally anyone last time. So we're a little more organized today. We've got an actual list of topics to work on. So it's not the usual rambling of, well, what do we talk about now?
Yeah, so we've upped the production value of it by adding a whiteboard.
Exactly. Like, in retrospect, I feel like we could have made the whiteboard, hot dog style instead of hamburger style. Yeah. But I need to get a way to, pin it to the wall up here so we could, stare at it.
Yeah, you guys can't see it, but the production value isn't increased too greatly because we have a whiteboard sitting on a stool, half-ass resting against the wall. So it's not the best thing in the world, but yeah, it works for us. You guys can't see it. You guys get to keep staring at our ugly mugs and our beautiful backdrop.
Exactly.
Here. So
where's Andrew Johnson at?
He's not
here yet.
He's not here yet.
He's waking up from a crack slumber.
Just give him time. He'll show up.
He'll be back. I'm back. He'll be back. So
we're waiting.
We're going to start the first topic of today. It's something that everyone in Arizona has been paying close attention to, and that is the Diamondbacks. I'm wearing the hat right now. Yep. Jensen went to the game last night.
Yep. For those of you who don't know, the Diamondbacks were on a 13-game winning streak. That's huge. The longest win streak in MLB history is 20 games, I believe. Mm-hmm. So it was kind of cool. We were all hoping they would, get close to the record. But for those of you outside of Arizona, you probably don't know the Diamondbacks did lose last night. Yeah. They were going for win number 14 in a row, and they ended up losing to the San Diego Padres, which isn't, They're an okay team, but they're not the most.
It's middle of the pack in the division.
A team they shouldn't have lost to, doing as well as they're doing right now. Mm-hmm. Personally, I lay all the blame on Patrick Corbin. Yeah, I've never liked him. Mm-hmm. He allowed 6 runs in the 4th inning.
I was at work.
It was so hard to sit through that game.
Being there. Yeah, being literally there, and
it got better. But
knowing that Howler had to witness it,
we let down Howler.
When you let down Howler, the whole state is let down.
Yeah,
But what's next? The Suns gorilla. Notice he wasn't even there.
No, he didn't even show up.
Yeah, exactly. You think you'd support your buddy when he went, but
his neighbor.
Yeah, he's just on the block. He can't even show up. What do you got going on, gorilla?
I mean, and there's 4 of those gorilla mascots, so at least one of them could have shown up.
That is a hot conspiracy that we will have
we'll
have to dedicate a whole episode to.
I could go on. That. I've spent an entire Suns game talking about my Suns gorilla.
We could get a blueprint of the Suns stadium and see where do you think they would be, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But basically, I thought when I saw that they were playing the Padres next, before the game even started, I'm like, they're gonna ease off the throttle on this one.
Yeah.
I didn't think they would really care about the record so much.
Mm-hmm.
They already beat the Diamondbacks record.
Yeah.
So I don't think they're more focused on baseball right now, and I think they were gonna use the game as an experimental, let's see what we could do on this team now that we're a good chunk ahead of the Rockies right now.
Mm-hmm.
So. I didn't have too high of hopes, but man, when they started rallying back, I was like, they're still in it. They're still in it to win it,
I was so excited. For those of you who don't know, it was 8-0 at one point, mm-hmm. and the Diamondbacks closed it in within 2 runs.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we were 2 runs away from tying it up with plenty of game left to play. And it was electric in there, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't been... I haven't been to a game in a while there, but I've been to a lot of Diamondbacks games. Mm-hmm. I've seen the Diamondbacks play live more than any other team. I've been to more Diamondbacks games than any other professional sports team. And last night was one of the bigger crowds I've seen in a long time at Chase Field because, they're on a 13-game win streak. It's Friday night. They're playing a team from the NL West. It was electric, man. There were a lot of people there really pulling for the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about that. Like, if it was a packed house.
Of course, the upper bowl wasn't. It never really is.
The
unless
World
there's,
Series seats.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The postseason.
Yeah.
But no, all the lower bowl was pretty much. There was like a little peppered spots here and there that weren't filled, but most of the lower bowl was pretty packed.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was cool, man, and we had great seats too. They were where the Diamondbacks dugout ends, near third base. We were the section right after that, right after the section where it ends, and we were like 20 rows up.
Nice.
So they were perfect like foul ball territory seats.
Yeah,
they were awesome.
I've been dying to go to a game again since this streak and everything, and I probably would have tried to get tickets to go on Sunday if they would have won yesterday. I would have been like, okay, I got to see this team. But
yeah, still worth seeing though, man. They were playing great ball. It's just pitching didn't show up last night.
Yeah.
Patrick Corbin really opened up the floodgates, and then Andrew Chafin had a very unfortunate inning last night.
Yeah, Chafin is one of my favorite pitchers they have, and it bummed me out to see him fall apart like that. But I really thought they were going to rally back and get it. Was there a giveaway yesterday, or was it
I don't believe
just Coyotes night?
I don't believe there was a giveaway.
Gotcha. I think. No, I know. It was baseball with like a Coyotes logo on it.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Did they run out before you got there?
I got there in the bottom of the second.
Okay. So
I was a little late. I was a little late getting there.
Yeah. Sometimes they have those giveaways where it's like you have to go to this counter, and then you have to go to this counter, and it's like a total waste of time.
It should be at the door. There should be
just
giant
give it
tubs
to
at the door.
Yeah.
People handing them out.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm thinking about going to the game on Tuesday. It's Suns night, so I'm tempted. If anyone wants to meet me there and stab me,
yeah, there we go.
That's where I'll be Tuesday at that time, so you can really pinpoint my position.
Yeah.
Just dox myself real quick. In the vein of baseball, I want to talk about sign stealing. I heard about it on the radio. It's a bit of a controversial topic. There was a game the other day against the Red Sox and the Yankees, which is a huge rivalry. They're always looking for the leg up on each other.
Yeah.
The City of Cheaters, not to be confused with the City of Champions, Edmonton, Alberta. The City of Cheaters, Boston and the New England area.
Yes.
Every team they have cheats. I mean, not the Celtics.
No, the Celtics are just good.
They didn't let a black person on their team longer than anyone else. So,
but they
still
won.
have a scar. Yeah,
but they won while
that's
doing
true.
that. So
that's true.
Yeah, you would think like it was
true.
a disadvantage, but they still did really well. So I think it was just I think it was the backing from the city, all that like white camaraderie.
Exactly.
I think it's
all those
like
Irish people.
It's like what gave the team the drive to get up in there.
Yeah, like
we gotta do it for the whites.
But the Patriots cheat all the time. I guess the Bruins don't really cheat. There's that one time when Mike Murbury hit that guy with his own shoe.
Yeah,
I consider that cheating.
Mike Milbury, he's not a man of sportsmanship.
No.
He's very sour.
Exactly.
Towards things he doesn't like. You watch his broadcasts. You can tell which teams he doesn't like, and he'll call out their character.
Yeah, exactly. Much, it doesn't really seem to be about the sport as much as the people.
So we got a little derailed there. Let's talk about the Boston Red Sox.
So the whole controversy is not that there was sign stealing, that there was using technology to facilitate sign stealing.
Right.
And personally, I think sign stealing is a great part of the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it backfire. I feel like it backfires more than it helps a team that's doing it. But I do agree that there shouldn't be any technology involved, because it's harder to tell when you're the catcher that the guy on second is. If there's no guy on second, you don't think that there's anyone sign stealing, right? Because no one can see you. So that's how I kind of judge it. I heard there was someone in the crowd relaying information to a guy that was in the dugout with an Apple Watch on, and he was looking at the data on that, and they're not even allowed to have Apple Watches or phones or anything like that in the dugout. So It's an old school sport. They don't have, that's the thing though, is you'll see them with iPads and stuff now. So it's like you could probably get the same kind of feed on an iPad, but I just think it's those dirty Boston sports teams trying to get a leg up on a New York sports team, just like they've been doing for 50 years. Bill Belichick was like, how you beat the Yankees? You go into the crowd, You should take the air out of the baseballs. That's what they're thinking.
Right.
But, so I think the league is handling it well.
Yeah.
And, but a lot of people are arguing like, well, sign stealing should be illegal in the first place. But the reason it's not illegal, it would be so hard to police that.
Yeah.
It's like counting cards is illegal.
Yeah. It's sign stealing. It's all out in the open, So like for asking someone not to look and try to figure out what's going on, it's just, it's not going to happen.
No.
It's like, I remember a couple years ago, I can't remember the two universities involved, but you know how college football, they really like to use like literal signs with like obscure
little weird
pictures on them. Well, like one team, like an opposing team, like figured out the other team's signs. Not with like there was no research beforehand.
Yeah.
They just like kind of put the pieces together.
Exactly.
Like someone cracked the code
it's a pattern,
mid game, and like there was like I think ASU was involved in it. I think they were the ones accused of like sign stealing. Sign stealing, and they just said like we kind of pieced it together, and
it's out there.
Yeah, like what do you're showing us in plain sight what your next play is, but we just got to figure out the code.
Yeah,
he's like, so what do you of course we're gonna try and figure out what the hell you're doing. Like you can't blame us for doing that, which I agree. It's
all part of it. Everyone's trying to get a leg up.
It's one thing to have something out in the open where everybody who's there can see it. Like, that's fair game if you want to try and figure that stuff out. But if you're like tapping into the communications like in the helmets and stuff, then that's cheating.
Exactly.
You're tampering. But like, I anything with seeing something out in the open that they're trying to that like one team's trying to relay to each other, that's part of the game. You have to try and figure that out. You know?
Exactly. It's like if you're gonna make sign stealing illegal, just make signs illegal.
Exactly.
Stop it all with the signs. There's no rule against having signs. Signs is something developed like as a way to get a leg up in the first place. So stealing that, how many players, how many catchers realize that the sign's being stolen? They have one nonverbal communication with the pitcher, like they like touch their leg or something, like that means okay, the signs are changing. The pitcher knows the signs are changing, and then that's how you trick the other team into swinging at a pitch that's a changeup that you can't hit anyway. So it goes both ways, and that's the art of baseball, is trying to figure out. It's a mind sport. It's all about thinking. What's this guy gonna do? What's this guy gonna try to do? And what am I gonna do? You have to have a plan at all times. So I don't really think it's a big deal, or that the rules on stealing signs are outdated. I think they're
I think they're fine the way they're the way they are. So,
but every few years this kind of thing comes up. But that's just like, I like how we had like a baseball talk, because no one ever wants to talk about baseball anymore.
No one likes baseball.
Now that the Diamondbacks are good, everyone wants to. But
So like last night at the game, there was something like that's being like talked about in baseball. Of like trying to get like the sport revamped. They want to try and like cut down the time it takes like between pitches. There was a point there. I can't remember the pitcher for the Padres that was up, but he had arguably the longest setup out of any pitcher I've ever seen, and it was like I'm a baseball fan. I love watching baseball, and like I couldn't stand watching this guy pitch because he just like dragged it out, like took so long to get set up, and it's like, that's when they need a freaking like pitch clock. Man. Like come on, dude, you don't need that much.
Because that's like a part of the dance, is like, when's this guy going to throw the ball, and it messes with your timing.
Right.
But I hate that stuff.
No, his time was uniform. It never changed. It was just long as shit. He would get the ball back. He would like slowly walk over, like clean off his cleats, pick up the bag real quick.
There's so much superstition,
and
too.
it was just like, dude, this guy takes, you look at every base before he threw the ball. It was just like, dude, come on.
The more talk there is about changing the rule on that, the more pitchers are going to exaggerate and have really long, lead-ups and stuff. So I'm not... This could be a topic for another day, but I'm not really... I like baseball the way it is, but I know that they have to make it grow and make kids get into it and have it be fast-paced. So I'm not really too upset about, if they have to make changes. You got to modernize sometimes.
Yeah.
And I'll probably end up liking it anyway. So
exactly.
Next up, so that's what you did this weekend. Mm-hmm. What I did, besides this Chudcast, is I went and saw it. I saw it twice in 2 days. Saw it twice. I wasn't planning
that good,
on
Mike.
I wasn't planning on even seeing it really once.
You saw it back to back.
Saw it back to back.
You got out. You went and bought another ticket, and you walked back in.
No.
When's the next showing? I need to see it again.
My face is painted. This is the best ICP movie that's come out this year. I'm gonna keep it pretty spoiler free. Mm-hmm. So I'm not gonna tell you, because I know you haven't seen it yet. I'm not gonna tell you exactly what's happens in the movie. Mm-hmm. But just the culture of going to a movie on opening night, and a remake of a movie kind of thing. That's all I want to really talk about on this. Is I went and saw it twice in 2 different towns too. So I went and saw it in North Phoenix, and I went and saw it in Queen Creek. Mm-hmm. So 2 very different places.
Right.
One was they're both at Harkins theaters. Mm-hmm. One was in a little more rough part of town. One was in a very polished, kind of rural part of town where everything was new. You could tell everything was brand new. And I saw it, and it's not like I avoid movies on opening night. I just tend to not go to a movie. I haven't been excited about a movie enough to have to see it the first night. No. In a long time.
No, same here.
I usually wait till I get invited by a buddy to go to the movies. Mm-hmm. I never I gotta see this one. So going out to the movies, especially on opening night or opening weekend, it was a pretty different experience for me. Mm-hmm. And I kind of experienced this about Annabelle when it came out, because I saw that on opening weekend. So it's the last few movies I've seen have been like that. So, because I'm not used to being not the only one in the audience. Right. Which is something I really enjoy. Because I like to focus on the movie and pay attention. And with a scary movie, I don't really jump that much. Yeah. I'm looking more for the psychological scares. Mm-hmm. And there's people in there, in the theater, that totally take the punch out of everything that's scary in that. Especially this It movie. Right. Because they did a really good job in this movie of making it fresh, but still honoring the old movie. Yeah. But the old movie isn't necessarily scary, especially to a modern audience, because the special effects weren't as good. Yeah. They really did a number. It's the first time I've been impressed by special effects in a while. The kind of things they did, different styles of the clown and everything. Mm-hmm. I was pretty impressed with it. But just there'd be a scare, right? And it's a jump scare. So it's the music is leading up. Something's going to happen. It's either going to be a fake jump scare or a real jump scare. Mm-hmm. But it's going to be something like that. And there'll be people that are mostly women, that are screaming and then shuddering afterward. Mm-hmm. And their friends are then laughing at them. Yeah. It's all a ploy to get a reaction from your friends that you're seeing the movie with. Yeah. Oh my God, look how scared they are. Mm-hmm. And it's it's not really about... You're not really that scared. No. That's my opinion.
No. You're not. It's very exaggerated. That's a big reason why I kind of refrain from seeing horror movies in theaters. Because, the audience usually, is what kills it for me. They usually make the movie, not scary. They kind of, take the ambiance that, the director tried to create throughout the movie. They totally just kill it.
It's a forced reaction, just to impress the people you're seeing the movie with, and that way next time you're hanging out, you'd be like, remember how scared you got at this part? And right. Yeah. It's you're really not.
So I actually have a question about the movie. Mm-hmm.
I've seen it twice, so I know exactly what happens.
You're an expert already.
It's when you see the movie once, it's all fresh. and then you see it the second time, especially that close together, it feels like the movie goes by so fast.
Really?
Like, I feel like I'm waiting on every moment in a movie when I see it the first time, and like it feels like the movie's super long. Police are coming for us.
Yeah.
We talk shit about the Diamondbacks and the police are coming.
Yeah.
Every time I go and see a movie the first time, I'm like analyzing as much as I can, but you can't see everything, and you're like focused on. You're not looking at the big picture. You're looking at little detailed spots. But the second time you see it, you're like, know what's gonna happen, and you could see from like a bigger view. But what's your question?
So, from what I've seen, I haven't seen many previews, but I've seen, like a lot of the posters and stuff like that. And like the little bit of previews I did see, it looks like Pennywise the clown. From at first sight, he's already a scary looking clown, right? Like they made him look scary. Is that like he's not a traditional?
I see where you're coming from.
Because in the original It movie, Pennywise just looked like a clown.
I see where you're coming from, but they actually do make him. There's one part about him that doesn't have that fun clown aspect when it's supposed to, and that's he has this like snaggle tooth in the front, where like one tooth is really long, and it's not his like scary form,
right? But
that still leaves you like with a little question about it. But the way he acts is very like fun and happy, and
because like from what I've seen, and I haven't seen the movie, so I'm only seeing like what they wanted me to see to get me to go see the movie.
Yeah.
From what I've seen, it looks like his face like makeup is like kind of darker and stuff. Is that how he is in the movie, or do they do a pretty good job of making him like a fun clown to like try and get kids to like trust him and stuff?
I don't think it was much about the face. They definitely. Only in the very beginning do they make kids like want to trust him.
Okay.
From the first time he tricks a kid on, it's all like they're terrified as soon as they see him, because it's usually he's scaring them with something else, and then he's the clown. So they're already scared.
Okay.
And they make like you could argue that they make like attempts to make him seem nice, but none of the kids fall for it in the movie. The thing about this movie in particular, besides like my viewing experience of it, it made me think like, wow, I really need to see the original again, because I don't remember like a lot of the stuff happening, and I want to see. I've never read the book. I barely remember the original, and I've seen the new one twice now. So it's like, how much of it is diluted from the book? Because as far as I'm heard, like there was a time, the first time I watched it was Danny, and I was like, oh, that, Stephen King likes to be in the movies?
Yeah.
I was like, that's Stephen King, and Danny's like, are you sure? Because, like, apparently they didn't ask him, like, if it was okay if they made another It movie. They just did it.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I don't know how much approval he had for it. So that's where I'm like, because there's a character in there, if you see it, you'll be like, that's what Mike thinks it is. But he looks kind of haggard, even for Stephen King as an old man. But it's a lot darker. There's a few things that I'd like to talk to you about it after you see it.
Okay.
That are like kind of like hiccups in the movie making process, in my opinion. But have you ever seen Stranger Things?
No.
It has one of the this movie, the reason they made it is because you got to think of 2016. Clowns everywhere. Yeah. People terrified of clowns. They're like,
the scary clown prank.
What can we do that will ride this clown bandwagon? Make another It movie. What else was huge in 2016? Stranger Things.
Yeah.
So it's like, it has more of a Goonies feel than the original It did, in my opinion. It's more about the kids banding together than it is about a bunch of like kids had a scary experience, and then they like, a bunch of non-friends got together. They have more of a group feel to them, in my opinion.
So they're already like they're already bonded.
Most of them are already
they're not
friends.
Bonded by their experience with Pennywise the clown. Okay.
There's like a couple that are.
Okay.
But it's a good movie. I would recommend it. I thought Annabelle was scarier, just for comparison. But also because I kind of knew what was going to happen in the It movie. But yeah, I feel like they saw Stranger Things and they saw the clown thing and they're like, let's make another It movie. because it literally, one of the kids in it is from Stranger Things, so it's the same kid. And they gave this kid a shit ton of lines. Anyone that's seen the movie will know exactly what I'm talking about. They give this kid a shit ton of lines, and he's kind of the wisecracking one.
Yeah.
And I have so much difficulty watching this movie because, like, the people that made the movie made so many jokes, because it's based in the 80s. It's not based today, like, they didn't modernize it.
Right.
It's based in the late 80s, and they made so many jokes that were specific to that area that they made it, and I was like, I get that. And, like, I wasn't born then, but I understand. I have intelligence past that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it fell flat. No one in the whole crowd laughed. They made a lot of New Kids on the Block references in it.
Okay.
And they would, like, reference the song, because this isn't really a spoiler, but it kind of is. You got a bad tattoo. And I'll hurry this up. But, like, there's a kid that likes New Kids on the Block, but he's a boy, so, like, but the girl knows, but none of the guys do, and he doesn't want them to know.
Right.
So, like, she'll, like, say a name of a New Kids on the Block song, but the audience that's watching it has no idea what New Kids on the Block is.
Sad.
So there's a lot of jokes in there that are time and place, and then there's a lot of jokes that a kid would make, and those jokes flew over, like, your mom and stuff like that jokes. Everyone dying.
Jeez.
Laugh and cry emoji at the same time. You know, the whole time. 100, 100, 100.
Yeah.
Laugh and cry eggplant peach emoji. You know, so.
Oh, I know exactly how you feel about it now.
You'll see it. You'll see and you'll pick up everything I'm talking about.
Okay.
But I feel like the people tried to make it really good and they did, but it didn't fly. People aren't going to think it's good for the reasons I think it's good. Kind of thing. Next up, you went to the doctor the other day?
Yeah, the other day I went to like an urgent care. I left work early. I had like gotten sick on my like drive home from California. Like I didn't think I like got, I didn't think I got like sick. I thought like I was just like I thought I got a sore throat from like, a fan pointing in my face while I was asleep. But I ended up getting like a cold out of it and stuff, and I left work and I went to the urgent care. And while I was at urgent care, I was sitting there waiting for the doctor to come in the room. They get that one person that like, I don't know what they're called, like half doctor.
Yeah.
And they take your, they do all
What is that person
They
called?
I don't remember.
Ah.
Someone will tell me.
Yeah.
It's not a nurse practitioner.
No.
It's something else. Medical assistant or something. I don't know. But moving on.
It's like an outpatient doctor or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. Something weird. But,
Orderly?
No, that's not it either. But so this person, who does all the heavy lifting, does all the real work, finds out what's wrong with you, takes your blood pressure, all that good stuff. So they get me taken care of, and they leave the room, and then comes the like customary, you have to wait 25 minutes for your doctor to come into the room. So I'm like just sitting there in this like tiny little, it's pretty much a jail cell, no windows. Like I'm just looking around, and they have like all these drawers and stuff. And I'm getting a call real quick. I'll have to do that later.
I see you're live. Talk to me. My dad wants to do call-ins.
We'll get it done.
We'll get it done.
So I'm looking around, and they have the drawers, and like they have the drawers labeled like what's in there. And, it's just, like, normal shit, like bandages.
Exactly.
Like,
forceps.
Yeah. And, like, one of the drawers said occult testing, spelled OCCULT. For anybody who is, like, semi-intelligent knows that the occult is, like, the unknown, like, paranormal, like, mysterious.
Witches, ghosts.
Yeah. It's
curses.
It's like beyond our
Exorcism.
understanding, like, otherworldly sort
fantastical stuff. Yeah.
And I was like, are they really doing like are they really doing like freaking they're testing for demonic possession now?
Exactly.
The doctors like Western medicine's like, we're failing, guys. Like we need something to bring these alternative medicine people back. We'll offer them testing for possession, or like test to see if you had like a curse put on you or something. Like, oh, you're not. It turns out you're not sick. You're just cursed. Like
that's so funny.
But I researched it because I had to.
Okay.
It's not as fun as what I thought it was. Occult testing is like they test like your shit for like blood being in it or like bad
Why do they
bacteria.
call it that?
I don't know.
Should it be like stool testing or something like that?
Well, then I would think it's something else. But
like, are they trying to tell your future by looking through your shit? That's a cold
break
testing.
it apart.
All right.
Hover a wand over it and have some sage burning.
All right. Okay, that sucks. Cause,
dude, I was like, at first I thought seriously like it was some kind of weird, like paranormal test.
The best part is how you delivered it to me. And I was like, we have to talk about that. Because you sent it to me in a snap. So it's like I had a minute amount of time to, like, see what I'm looking at, read it, realize where it is. And, like you said, like, I'm at a doctor's office right now. I'm like, it all hit me like a ton of bricks. And, like, it took me a few days to even think about what that could mean. And what I came up with was, like, it's all bullshit tests for people that say they're possessed.
Yeah,
and so
that's kind of what
like,
I thought, too.
So they could be like, no, you're good.
Yeah.
You know? But, fuck. When I saw that, I was like, this blew my mind. Occult testing. And just don't put it on a label on a drawer. You know, because anyone that knows what occult means, or, like, thinks they know what occult means, is not going to appreciate that. They're going to be like, what the fuck are you guys doing?
Like, maybe I should go see another doctor.
Yeah, exactly.
This doctor's a fucking lunatic.
The doctor comes in one of those, like, plague doctor costumes. Like, all right, you ready to go? Swallow this toad, and we will track its movements. Yeah.
But it makes for a fun little talk.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it was definitely...
me.
I'm like, that's something in the real world that you got to talk about when it happens, you know? Yeah. And then we learned from it.
And I was...
Unlike most of our topics where we just talk about it and we don't learn anything from it.
And I wanted to ask the doctor about it, but, like...
What's that mean?
Yeah, right? What's...
they, like, have a deep breath.
It'd be even better if, like... Because, you know, like, I didn't know what it was. Like, I didn't research it, like, while I was at the doctor's office to see what it really was. Because, like, I didn't get service very well in there. So, like, I should have been like, hey, can we do an occult test? And, like, he would have been like, oh, God, no. Like,
all right, starts putting on gloves. Puts a pentagram necklace on. All right, let's do this.
When in reality, he would have just been like, here's a, you know, medical Tupperware.
Yeah,
go shit
dump
into
this, please.
I would have been like, whoa. Is this like some kind of homunculus?
It would have gotten even worse, yeah. What can you tell me about homunculus? That's like my most viewed Chudcast topic.
Oh, it's great. It's like over 90 views right now. It's pretty good.
We're gonna have to start a segment like homunculus of the month.
Yeah.
Homunculus. Anyway.
Cumulonimbus.
Cumulonimbus. The clouds are involved. All right, next up, we've got the freaking etiquette.
It is our first and longest running segment. Etiquette over easy.
Etiquette over easy.
It's
Chudcast episode 6.
It's the segment where we talk about etiquette that everybody should know about in society, but like a lot of people fall short of understanding it. So etiquette over easy. The topic this time has to do with like lines, like whether you're. This came up, you know, it came to mind when I was at a concession stand last night at the ball game. So whether you're at a concession stand or you're, you know, waiting in line to like, you know, buy movie tickets or something, you know, you're at a fast food restaurant. And the etiquette I want to touch on is when there's separate lines formed, like you stay in that line and you get served when it comes to your turn in line, when the people in front of you have been served, and then you go up and you get served. A lot of people have trouble understanding this. I think like grocery stores are what kind of like took this like understanding away. Is a lot of people think, you know, like you get into these lines and then like if you're next in your line, whenever like another register opens up, like a lot of people think they have the right to that register because they were next in their line, when in reality it's whoever's next in that line gets served. You know, like I actually had an argument with a lady at like an In-N-Out burger about this like a couple years ago, because there's, you know, if you ever been inside an In-N-Out burger, there's always 2 registers up front, maybe even more, and the lines were split, and you know, I was standing in the line that was longer in people. And this lady was standing in you know, the line I was in was like, I was probably the 5th person back, 4 or 5. and this line that she was in was like 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And her line was taking forever. And, like, it was like when I was next in my line, she, like, jumped over to the register. I was like, whoa, miss, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, I'm next in line. She's like, well, I was next to be served. Like, I've been standing here longer. So, I'm next up. And I'm like, no, like, my line's moving faster. You got in the one that you thought was going to be quicker.
It's a gamble.
You know, like, you have to wait your turn. And she's like, oh, well, that doesn't make any sense. And I'm like, it makes
Why have a line?
Yeah, exactly. Like, if it was the way you say it is, there would be one line that stops short of both registers, and, like, you would just funnel in. No, when there are more than one line, you pick that line, and you're there for the long haul.
Yeah.
Now, if another line is empty, it is fair game to jump over to the next one. If someone from behind you gets to the empty line first, you don't whine saying like, I've been here longer. No, like, people have got to learn that, like, that there is a system, and we all have to follow the system.
You're the master. You're the master of your own destiny,
right?
You know, you're in charge of. You're driving this ship. You know, you're driving the bus. You got to figure out how you're going to be successful and do what you want to do without worrying about what other people are doing. That's I have like a few different line experiences that have happened to me in like the last week, just from you like bringing it up, where it's like it's gone different ways. And I'm in lines all the time. I go to a lot of stores for work and everything. So, and like to the bank. But the other day I went to the bank, and this is very like East Coast or North, but they have like, and a lot of places out here do it too. I've never really understood it, but where they have the door, a little small room, and then another door at a place. You know, and I always hold open the door for someone, especially if it's like an older person, like male or female or a woman. I'll always open the door because I'm never in that big of a hurry.
Right.
And like, but when you're doing that into a place that has a line, sometimes like I could see where someone would get foggy about like, well, they let me in, and then I would be next in line. So I did this at the bank, right? So the first door, I didn't see the woman coming up. It was me and a woman. I didn't see the woman. She's like middle age. I didn't see the woman coming up, so I went into the door first. But when I saw her, I held the door open.
Yeah, you like
so I was in there.
You and
I was in there, but still holding the door open so she can go through. And then I still had enough like gusto to go to the next door and hold that open, but the normal way, like when you see someone coming. And she was like, "Thank you," but by that time, like, we saw that there was a line at the bank. And mind you, I didn't have a long transaction.
So you stabbed her in the back and
so I was like,
over her. Like,
listen, bitch,
next.
I just did 2 good things for you. What have you done for me? But no, like, continue. I was totally going to be like, well, I opened the door for her. She goes first. Plus, I'm not in a hurry. So I don't really care. It's not a worth fighting for battle for me.
No, not at all.
But in her head, she was probably like, this person's going to be mad that he held the door open for me, let me go first, and now I'm going to be in line before him. So I didn't even say a word or make a face or look at her or anything. She just straight off the bat was like, you know, you opened those 2 doors for me, like, you can go ahead of me in line. And I was like, oh, that's thank you. And I've got, mine's really quick, so you won't have to be behind me very much. And that, a bank is like what you're talking about, where there's one long line, there's like multiple tellers, and it feeds.
Yeah.
That's just how a lot of places are like that. But when you go to a place that has 2 lines, you pick your one, and that's your gamble. You know, that's what you go with. Yeah.
And another thing is when it is like that, where there's 2 lines, it's not like 2 lanes on a road where you can like keep jumping back and forth. No. When you pick a line, you get like 1 jump. That's
what it is.
You get to change lines like once. If you keep going back and forth thinking you're gonna like you know, beat the system and you're gonna try and get in there quicker than anybody else, like you have a good chance that like someone's gonna get fucking pissed and tell you to stay put somewhere.
It's true. It's true. Like another line thing I've had was I was at a dollar store, which everyone in there usually isn't in a hurry.
No.
And they usually are pretty low budget, so they'll always have like 1 register open most of the time. But it was a situation where a line started to form. They pulled someone from the back to fill in at another register.
Right.
And it was one of those times where it had the belt. There was one person that was getting their stuff rang up, there was a person behind them that had already put their stuff on the belt.
Right.
And then there was like, I was in the way back in the line, so I wasn't really involved in this situation, but you got the person paying out, the person putting the stuff that has already put their stuff on the belt that's next, and then the third person that's still holding all their stuff.
Right.
And they opened up another register, and they're like, I can handle next in line. And everyone kind of looked at themselves like, okay, well, what do we do now? Like, and they came to the conclusion that I would have made, and that's the person that already had all their stuff laying out just stayed there.
Exactly.
Because, but you know, you go to places, and they'll be like, nope, I got to collect all my shit.
Oh, yeah. People totally do that.
There. I hate that.
Because, like, when you get another person up there to help, the point is to try and get all these people rung up as quick as you can so that you kind of take the stress off the situation. The quickest thing to do would be to allow the person who hasn't unloaded their stuff to just walk over there.
Exactly.
Whereas, like, but I know what you mean. Like, there are some people who are so, like
stubborn. I was next.
Yeah, exactly.
It should be me. No. I'm next. And it's all about the verbiage you use, you know? And, like, the employee was so outward about, like, yeah, usually when people put all their stuff down, they don't want to bring it over anyway. And everyone laughed and everyone had a good time. So that's like, you can have good experiences, but there's always that, like, stick in the mud that wants to make everything different. Like, that whole opening up a new register thing is easier at a grocery store because there's that, like, 3 feet of, like, where the candy and gum and magazines are. That it's like, okay, I'm already kind of in this line, like, I'm stuck here. I'm not going to, like, walk out with all my stuff. So it's easier to just move the line. At that point, I feel like you're super dedicated when you're in that zone. Yeah. Past the magazines, when you're in there, you're there. You're there. You don't never leave that. I feel like the line then starts after that. Yes. So where like the coolers are and stuff. That's when the line actually starts.
So that actually brings up like a memory I had because in high school I worked as a cashier at an Albertsons grocery store. Yeah. And like I was I didn't work as a cashier like full time. I was like mostly like one of the cart guys sort of thing, you know. But when when they needed someone to hop on register, like they would call me over to do it, you know. So I was usually like that, I'll take whoever's next kind of guy. So I open up a register and I say, I'll take whoever's next. The cash register next to me had a line of like, about 5 people waiting. And so I say, I'll take whoever's next. And this lady who's in there, pretty much next in line, but didn't have her stuff unloaded yet. In the time it took to like turn her cart out of there and like walk past all the other people, while she was doing that, there was a guy who was already like walking towards my register with like, I think he had like 2 liters of soda. Okay. Like he didn't have a cart, and it's like he was coming from the aisle that like lines up with that register. So he was just walking, and he walked through, and he walked in there. And, like, by the time he set his stuff down, this lady had already gotten her cart. Like, she was just coming into the lane. Yeah. And she was, like, made a stink about it. She was like, I was next in line. And I was like, well, he kind of got here first, and he only has, like, 2 things. Yeah. So I say we just let him go. You have a whole cart full of stuff.
It's like, pick your battles.
And she's like, no, I was next in line, so... like, therefore, I should be taken care of first. And she's like, do you not know how to do your job? And I was like, you fucking kidding me, lady? Like, and then she's like, we'll call a manager over here. And I'm like, for somebody who's in a hurry, you really want to eat up a lot of time.
Exactly. You want to make your whole day out of this. Yeah.
Like, you must not be in that big of a hurry, because if you were, you would just let me ring up this guy with 2 bottles of soda. I won't even have to bag them, because the guy's going to carry them out, and he'll be gone. But no, she wanted to make a huge fucking fuss about it. Like, people just can't, like, is it something about being in a line? It just turns people into monsters. Like,
at that point, if I was the guy with the liters of soda, I would have realized that I could be a vigilante in the situation.
Exactly.
And I would have been like, you know what, ma'am, go ahead. I'm not in a hurry. It's obviously very important to you.
Exactly.
You could be as condescending and as much of an asshole as you want to someone when you're not working there. You got to realize how the employees are and how they have to behave and themselves. Act in a way that's not evolutionary supported by us. Yeah. So that also another line thing is when you go to a place that just has a counter, and let's say there's not a line, but there's like chairs right next, like let's say it's near a bar top, you place or you pay for your order. Like it's usually at food places. Mm-hmm. You pay for your order, and then there's people that'll sit right next to the bar top. It's like just go to the front in the benches. Mm-hmm. You know, hang out up there, because then everyone that comes in after you is going to be like, "Have you already been helped?" And it's like, if the cashier is asking you, that means they've probably already seen that person,
right? Exactly,
and it just eats up time that might be vital to like them. I've always had a pet peeve with that. It's like I would never ask that I would never be like, have they already helped you? It's like that person either, if they haven't been helped, they have to be more assertive themselves and be in the like, hey, can you help me? You know, they have to be the master of their own destiny when it comes to getting their stuff. You know, you made yourself more presentable. If they and they obviously see him, they're sitting right there.
Right.
If they see you and ask you, that means they've already helped that person.
Right. Exactly. You know? That's a good point.
And I've worked that counter, you know, and I've been like, I've started off a conversation because I could just tell the people when they're coming in. I've started the conversation with, they've already been helped. You know, can I help you? You know, when really, if that person just wasn't sitting there, if they were sitting up front, you know, and then it wouldn't have been an issue because there's no, you know, thought
exactly.
there. Or sit like somewhere else on the bar, maybe a few rungs down. But it's tough. Like, I want to know, like, how come some people follow these unwritten rules? And this has to do with all of our etiquette topics. Like, how come some people follow these unwritten rules and some people have no concept of them at all?
I think it mostly has to do with upbringing.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, because, like
your parents and everything.
Like, because my dad, like, is mainly the one who, like, taught me all these things, you know? Like the way you have to interact in the world with other people, like, who can't read you. Like, my dad always said, like, people can't read your mind.
Exactly.
Like, you got to let people know.
You have to give them hints.
Like, yeah, exactly. And you know, or you know, if it's not upbringing, it's like vanity. Maybe like these people think they're so damn important that like everybody else is like either an inconvenience or like there to against like them. Wait on them. You know, like so. I don't know, but. You know, it makes for good banter.
Exactly. So. It's something that a lot of people don't talk about. It's something, you know, everyone runs into every time you're around someone you don't know, a stranger, and have to get something done with them. Yeah. You know, there's always going to be miscommunications and, but yeah, I think it's a pride thing. Like, you got to have shame of your own self. Like, not always think about yourself first and think about how much time you're really saving by cutting in front of these people in line.
Yeah, exactly. You know,
that's the etiquette over easy this week.
Yep.
Jensen had a good driving one, but we're gonna skip it for now. Save it. We have a bunch that are like saved up, ready to go. Yeah. You know, but
it's always good. Over easy isn't going anywhere for a while.
It's always good when you like just experienced one within that week, and then you can more fresh and you have more opinions on it. But I think about that stuff all the time. Next up is the Tim Lambesis trying to not necessarily reunite As I Lay Dying, but start up As I Lay Dying under that moniker with all new bandmates.
Right.
What do you feel about that?
I mean, I kind of have like mixed feelings about it. Like I don't think like I don't think that he like shouldn't like do it or like that he shouldn't be allowed to like like it's his project, you know, for the most part, obviously because he's allowed to like start it back up, you know. So like that's his thing, you know. The guy just got out of prison. I'm sure he has a lot of like legal fees he's got to pay off, and this is how he knows how to make money. So I think he's, you know, going to try and write another album to get, you know, revenue coming in and kind of try to get his life on track. I'd rather see him do something like that than, you know, try to get his life on track with, you know, or try not his life on track, but try to get back on his feet. Yeah. With the means that got him in trouble in the first place, and that's like criminal activity, you know. Like it's I think it's okay. I don't really know if I want to like. I mean, I'll give it a listen, but I don't really know if I want to be a fan of As I Lay Dying now, like the new As I Lay Dying. The thing that gets me is like people like are for listeners who don't know who Tim Lambesis or As I Lay Dying is. As I Lay Dying is a metalcore band that was huge. Like they were like the biggest one. And like a lot of the controversy is they were like a Christian.
Yeah.
Like they didn't really sing about God or Christianity
Everyone
or anything.
knew.
But they were all like Christian. All the guys in the band were Christian.
Yeah.
Always thanked God, whenever they had the chance to. Tim Lambesis is the front man and kind of like the like As I Lay Dying is his brainchild.
Yeah.
What he did is a few years ago he got caught trying to hire a hitman on Craigslist to kill his current wife, or was it his ex-wife?
Or I think they were on the skids.
Okay.
But still married.
Yeah. So he was trying to hire a hitman to kill his wife, and the hitman on Craigslist turned out to be like a government agent. Mm-hmm. It was like a sting sort of thing.
Exactly.
It wasn't like he hired a hitman and then the government caught on. Like it was like a sting by the feds. Yeah, some could call it entrapment if you want.
Yeah.
But that's like the controversy. So he had like a 6-year sentence and he like served like 2 or 2.5 or something like that. Mm-hmm. But he's trying to get his band back together. So
exactly. No, none of the former members want to get back with him. Obvious reasons. Like those guys had pretty much set for life careers.
Yeah.
With As I Lay Dying, I never really liked As I Lay Dying. Like I couldn't name a single one of their songs. But like I remember being in high school and just started getting into that kind of music, and like you and a lot of our other friends were like super into them. Like I remember there was that one huge show at the Marquee, and like everyone was there. Yeah. And it was a big deal.
It was a huge deal.
Yeah, so
that's like when they were at the height of their popularity. Like, I don't remember the album they released, but I think like the big hit off of it was called like Nothing Left.
Yeah,
and like that was huge. Like that album was big, and like they couldn't have. I think that was like the biggest they had ever been at that point.
Yeah, so it was like I always looked at it as a group that I'm not familiar with at all, and then like, but I know how many people were super into them. So I can't blame him for doing what he's doing now. It's all he's got.
Right.
He's got to eat, and those steroids don't pay for themselves.
Exactly.
So, but I think it's going to be he releases a like shitty album, and then just tours off the hits from the old stuff, and I think people will go to see it.
I think so too.
I don't think. Personally, as a, like, let's say none of this stuff happened and they released a new album, I wouldn't give a shit still. Like, I would have the same amount of non-care because I'm not a fan. There's going to be people that are, I feel like the real fans are going to be the ones that might miss it, like, might not go.
Right.
I feel like the people that just want to see a guy that tried to kill his wife play on stage just for the circus of the whole thing.
Right.
I feel like that's the majority of people that would go to see them, like, tour. They could release an album and not tour.
Yeah, exactly.
Or like play like select shows, but what bands would want to tour with them? And
that's another big thing.
I think
Scum.
all of them. I think every band would want to tour with them.
Really?
I think there's so much nowadays. People have no moral compass. Yeah. Like the more and more I've thought about it, like just no one cares about stuff anymore.
No.
No one would take that kind of stand. If there's money involved, they'll do it.
Yeah, that's
true. What I mean? People forgive and forget all the time. Think of all the celebrities that have done terrible things.
Right.
Like, people go to Chris Brown concerts.
Yeah, exactly.
Those are very expensive tickets, you know? People don't care anymore. There's no, like, because you did this, I'm not associating myself with you.
Yeah.
It's like time cleans things a lot faster than it used to.
I just, I just don't think it's going to be, like, that big of a backlash.
Yeah.
I think they're going to get plenty of people listening to their music. I know you probably remember a couple years ago, the guy from Suburban Scum, him and his buddies like locked one dude in a room and took turns like beating him up or some shit like that. People still love that band,
Exactly.
So I don't really think people really, if it's something they like, I feel like people find a way to look past, the wrongdoing of the people who created it. So
people are like, oh, it's his artist. That's what artists are like. They have that deep rooting. I know you're not familiar, but in like the rap scene right now, there's this guy who's a garbage rapper. I'll say it, with a straight face. It's easy to say for me that he sucks, but he's growing in popularity from the SoundCloud platform. His name is XXXTentacion.
Okay.
Or it looks like Temptation. You
okay.
know? He basically is garbage. His bars are garbage. the way they record the music is garbage. He looks like an idiot. He talks like an idiot. You know how rap, like, there's, like, you have your Nas and your Tupac, and, like, they're, like, poets, you know? Like, they're putting masterpieces out there. This guy's retard. Just, like, screaming. It seems like he's screaming into a microphone that's, like, really bad quality. I'll play you, like, a song after this.
Okay.
So we don't get, like, copyright strike from it, but basically has one good song, and if they released the song without any rapping in it, and it was just the beat, that's when I would listen to it.
Yeah.
Because he makes it bad.
Okay.
But the thing about him is he's huge right now. He's growing in popularity. You got, like, people like Kendrick Lamar, like, dude, retweeting him and stuff, and it's like,
Jeez.
Kendrick, you're supposed to be that guy for this generation.
Right.
You know? And it's like, this guy is negative for any type of, like, community of music, especially for, like, urban community that's trying to, like, remove stereotypes.
Yeah.
And the reason that besides all that stuff about his music that sucks, the reason I don't like him and would never support him, you know, and it's easy because his music sucks, is because he beat up his pregnant girlfriend.
Yeah, that's fucked up, dude.
You know, it's like, what kind of loser beats up his pregnant girlfriend? Also, he takes L's on a daily. Like, there's video of him, like, performing at a concert, and someone just, like, the best tackle I think I've ever seen in my life just takes him out. And he's just such a loser, and I don't know why anyone would support him, but that's what I think of when I think of this whole Tim Lambesis thing, is, like, people don't care about how someone is. They care about the music that honestly usually sucks anyway.
Yeah.
And they just take it as they're a brooding artist, and they have so much going on in their head, when they're just retards. They have nothing going on in their
people.
head. Yeah, we're all human beings. We're all the same. You know, there's not people that are more dark and.
Yeah.
You're so, like, just like detached from the modern rap scene, I feel like.
Oh, very much.
And if I, like, showed you things and, like, delved you into things, you'll be like, why is, like, emo popular again? It's so bizarre. I cannot explain it. It's like, to be a rapper in 2017, you have to be, like, a scene kid from 2008.
Okay.
It's the most strange thing in my life. I never would have guessed it. It's like tight pants, multicolored hair, a lot of face tattoos.
Weird.
A lot of, it's just so big sunglasses.
Very strange.
Terrible bars. Like, you have to be bad at rapping. There's ones that have grown on me, and there's ones that I like because they suck. But there's ones that I hate because they suck. And, like, people that I know that like rap, and I consider, like, good rap, you know, quality.
Confidants.
But that's how I feel about this whole Tim Lambesis thing. Is like, you can do anything nowadays, and people won't. They'll still support you.
Yeah.
The Pandora's box is open. You know, and I think it all started with the Chris Brown thing.
Think so?
Yeah, that was like the first thing I could think of where someone did something really bad, and there's a lot of evidence, and it was true.
And, like, no one gave a shit.
No one gives a shit.
Yeah.
You know.
I think you're right on that one.
And it's kids. It's all kids that support. All media is supported by kids.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? And kids don't give a shit about that.
No.
So, but that's how I feel about it. Is like, I think they could put out an album, it would sell well. They could tour, the tour would go well.
Yeah.
And that bands would attach themselves with it.
Yeah.
And it'd just be totally forgotten.
Yeah, probably 100%.
You know? So that's how I feel about the whole thing. Our buddy Ryan Hanrahan, shout out to Ryan Hanrahan.
Yeah.
My number one source for all hardcore news and metal
He broke
news.
the story.
He broke the story to us, and we were like, okay, we have to talk about this on the Chudcast, because I never thought it would happen, even though it doesn't really surprise me. I still never thought it would have happened, kind of thing. But we have our last topic of the day. We're gonna be kind of winding it down here. We're coming right up on the hour mark, so we're doing
pretty good.
This
is usually about what we do.
You know?
It's usually about what
so we always aim for like around an hour, but if we go a little over with the outro and everything. But we have one more topic, and it's a topic that you have curated for us.
Yep. So this has to do with the topic of, like, trendy restaurants, or, like, trendy like, what do you call them? Like what would, like, Four Peaks be? Like a micro brewery? Is that what they're called?
It's a brew pub.
Brew pub. There we go. Like like these trendy, just like restaurants, brew pubs. The one I went to last night referred to itself as a gastropub, whatever the fuck that means. In downtown Phoenix, there's a lot of these kind of like trendy places where people like to go, like for image.
Yeah.
It seems like people like to be seen there, I think is what it is.
It's a status.
And the place I went to last night was actually pretty good. The food was tasty and it was reasonably priced. I'm sure their drinks were outrageously priced though. But I don't drink, so I don't know.
So we don't have to worry about that.
But it's another one of these places. I've been to a few of them lately, whether they be like a bar or a restaurant. I've been to a few of these places lately where like the interior is like they put a lot of work into the interior to make it look like there isn't a lot of work put into the interior.
Exactly.
Like, and that's
exposed
like
ceilings.
Yeah, that's like a trend I hate already. Because if you're gonna put a lot of work into something, make it look nice.
Exactly.
Like make it look like you put the work into it, you know. But so like as I'm sitting there eating, like the only thing I could think of is like there was nobody in this place that was like over the age of like 35.
Yeah.
You know, and like they have like I could tell they have a good following. Like there seemed to be a lot of like return customers in there. And like what I was thinking of is like a way you could just topple these places, like bring them crumbling down, is like just get one guy in there who's like over the age of 60, like to just like sit at the bar for hours, just being like a total like not even a jackass. Like they don't have to be crazy. Like
just be old.
Just being an old person.
Yeah.
Like, but not like an old person, like a cool grandpa.
Yeah.
Like an annoying old person. Like scraggly. He's wearing 2 coats. You know, like and just sit there and just like every kid that comes up to the bar starts a conversation.
Oh yeah,
with.
exactly.
Like it would dry these places out in a matter of months. Like one old regular could destroy like a trendy like brewery or restaurant. Like
or a gastropub.
Or a gastropub. A place where I don't know, you can get gas and eat. So
yeah, it's that term. We talked about this before, but that term like it puzzled me when I first saw it. Mm-hmm. I think the first time I saw it was from a local place out here called, what do you call it? Culinary Dropout.
Yes.
They put like, it's like Culinary Dropout Gastropub, and it's like, Gastropub, and its origins are from like England. And like, I don't even think in England today they call these places that. It's like, it's like when you put shop on your restaurant, you put 2 P's and an E in there. It's like you're going for that ancient, old style look.
Yeah.
But I totally love your theory of like just dropping someone like that in there.
Oh yeah.
I was thinking like a Canadian, those snowbirds that come down.
Yes.
That like always dress in golf stuff. Ask a lot of questions. Say a lot. You know, like throw like a handful of those in there with their old wives. Mm-hmm. Done. Yeah. It's not cool anymore.
No, it's not cool. Like I totally look forward to being old so I can do things like that. Like go to a trendy place where like young people like to hang out and make it not cool anymore.
I think what it all comes down to is like our like immediate post high school like youth, like until we were from your 18 to your like 22, we were still in Cave Creek.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's the time where people were going to those places. Like if we lived closer to where we do now, we would be experiencing those places more and maybe enjoying them more. Mm-hmm. Because every time I go into a place like that now, I feel old. I feel like I'm like at a high school dance.
Exactly.
That's how I feel. There's places like Valley Bar and tons of like coffee joints downtown. Yeah. And I'll go a lot of times with my girlfriend and like maybe her little sister. Mm-hmm. I'm just like, oh man, I feel like and I feel like everyone's staring at me like, well, this guy doesn't belong here.
Exactly.
I'll be rocking my Sweet No Alters shirt. And they'll be like, this guy doesn't belong here. This guy doesn't belong anywhere. He's a No Alters fan. Yeah. Shout out to No Alters. I'm going to try and rock No Alters merch as much as possible.
Okay. When you get down
I have like 5 No Alters shirts and the jersey. So
perfect.
We're waiting for the check in the mail.
Yeah.
Members of No Alters.
Yep.
Send us the check.
But, and it's just like the people, like, I don't think I could, don't think I could like talk to any of these people, man.
You can't make
apparently the dress code for last night was like those shorts that are like really short. I don't know what they're called that guys wear.
Yes.
They're like boat shorts.
Boat shorts, yeah.
Or excuse me, yacht shorts. They were like yacht shorts.
Yeah.
And like a button up collared like long sleeve patterned shirt with a very nice looking flat bill hat of a team that's out of state. And I was like,
that is like pretty much spot on with what I can picture that.
What look are you going for? Like are you casual like with the ball cap?
Personally,
are you like, I don't get it.
I like that Johnny Topsider look, like that yachtsman look, but you have to have the full to have the full thing. No hat, maybe some sunglasses, you know. You have to have a drink in your hand. Like it has to look like you're on a yacht. You have to have the boat shoes. Then I think I like it.
Yeah.
Or like the frat look too. I like that. But when you're mixing it with the ball cap,
that is a look I hate. Is like button up collared shirts with a flat bill.
Exactly.
Hat. Like it looks so dumb. It just doesn't make
Especially
sense. If you're not outside.
Yeah.
If you're outside and you're wearing a ball cap, makes sense. Try and keep the sun off your face.
Well, that's an etiquette. That's an etiquette over easy that I would like to talk about at some point is hats. Just hat etiquette in general.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's one that's depraved and completely lost.
Yeah, exactly.
They tried to teach it in school.
Here's some foreshadowing. We're gonna be talking about hats at some point.
We will be talking about. Look forward to hats. Let us know in the comments if you have any etiquette issues with hats, and we'll talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or if you have no etiquette issues with any of the stuff we talk about, I'd like to hear from you.
Yeah,
and that way we can tear you to shreds on the next episode. So, I mean, we've went through all of our topics for today. I really liked the new topic organization that we've got going on.
It's nice.
It helps a lot keeping the ball moving. I feel like we didn't have to take any breaths really this whole one. So, and it flies by. It's we're having a good time with the Chudcast. So, they fly by. Still really doing it once weekly. I don't think we'll ever do it on the same day at the same time.
No, don't.
We have such
it's
crazy
not a
schedules.
Routine. It's not a routine. So
it's one of those things where you have to just catch it live. If you're lucky, we're not gonna like announce it.
No.
Or have it scheduled or anything. At least for the time being, we might do that in the future. But yeah, I mean, I'm all cleaned out. Let us know in the comments section if you guys are watching this after it went live, and if you'd like us to talk about anything else. We'd be happy to take like a fan topic of the week or something like that. We're always looking to set up new segments and everything. We started with Etiquette Over Easy, and we're looking for more. So every day, every Chudcast, it evolves. This is episode 6, and we started from being huddled in front of the microphone in a dark room, looking at each other like from across, to having it live and on. Yeah. It's the ball is rolling, so we're always looking to grow.
We have a nice desk.
Yeah.
That was donated to us by a member of No Alters.
A No Alters approved desk. Yeah. So thank you guys for watching. Tune in next week. Let us know what you want to see, though. We don't have enough community involvement as besides Andrew.
Yeah, biggest fan.
Less from Andrew Johnson, please. More from everyone else. I'm here.
I'm back.
I'm back. We love that guy, but we want 10 Andrew Johnsons that all say batshit shit all the time. So, if you're a member from my work, from my real job, I won't say what it is. But if you're watching, I know a lot of you have told me that you've been watching, so I apologize for anything I say in here. It's just off the hip. Nothing's too serious. But thank you guys for watching regardless. But I still think it's on the table to set up a podcast website, but it's we're working on it.
I think we're
give us an update on the.
Well, I don't have an update because I haven't really this week. I haven't really looked around. I've been too busy being sick.
Update is there's no update.
Yeah, no, that's the update.
The update is occult testing.
I still kind of like the idea of maybe setting up a channel for it. But yeah, at some point I would like to get onto a site. I do like the idea of a channel since we are doing like the live streams.
Yeah.
Because most podcast websites don't have any
Live
video.
action. Oh yeah, video.
They don't have
action,
any video. It's just all audio uploads. So
I want to have.
I like the video format a lot.
A goal for me is to get its own channel, another webcam, at least one more webcam, and more microphones. And that way we can have it centered on different people. We can have it directed at other people. We can maybe Ben Tolmachoff, our number one candidate in the running for being our computer guy while we're doing this whole thing. Right now I try to do
moderator.
Right now I try to do it, and it's very confusing for us. But luckily the chat, well, not luckily, but the chat was not exploding today with Andrew Johnson. So, but yeah, thanks for watching, you guys. That's all we got this week. So tune in next week for more. Thank you.